almost Easter, and I'm almost alone here. No tourists at all. This is the Via Dolorosa. And let's start with that. If any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. Matthew 16:24. Jesus is looking for someone who will humble himself as he did and lovingly bear his cross. Will you be this disciple? And this is the main issue here. Then I'm following you through the way of the cross, through the Via Dolorosa. And what is important for me to do is to show you what's happening now in the Via Dolorosa while we're still fighting against Hamas and Hezbollah, the terrorist organization from Gaza and Lebanon. Sadly, no tourists. There's a group of Orthodox Jews walking with their musical instruments. And before I will enter to show you two stations of the cross, I want you to see the entrance to Amoria, which is elementary school. And I want you to see the holy stairs, that if you want to see the original ones, you have to go and visit the Vatican. This was the Antonia. That was kind of an army fortress who kept it. Nothing will happen to in the temple. That's the Jewish temple, just behind that wall. Sadly, it's a Muslim school now for boys. Then in that case, only on Friday, the Franciscans got right, and they can start the Via Dolorosa, the way of the cross, the way of the misery, from there. It's not Friday, then I cannot do that. Then what I can do is to let you in to a beautiful compound that was built at the 19th century, but on top of ancient churches. Look how beautiful is the first church. Now that church is actually almost a replica of a Crusader church built by Veronica. And you know, if you are watching my YouTube, you know that I really adore Veronica, the Italian architect. But he built it on top of the Crusader church. This is the Church of Flagellation, and let me read it. Then Pilate took Jesus and had him flogged. The soldiers twisted together a crown of thorn and put it on his head. They clothed him in purple robe and went up to him again and again, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews!" And they slapped him in the face. Gospel of John 19. You know what? Let me read it in Hebrew. אז לקח פילטוס את ישוע, ג'יזוס ישוע, והלקה אותו. החיילים שמו על ראשו עטרת שקלעו מקוצים, והלבשו גלימת הרגמן, that's the robe. ניגשו אליו ואמרו, שלום לך מלך היהודים, וסתרו על פניו. שלום לך מלך היהודים, וסתרו על פניו. Where it is in English. Oh, that's English. Hail, King of the Jews. And let's enter into the church. Usually it's full with tourists and disciples. Today it looks like there's only two. Then I won't be able to talk there. Then what I want you to see is the beautiful stained glasses. To the left, you will see the Pontius Pilate washing his hands. at the front, you will see Jesus going out of the trail, sorry. And to the right, you will see, forgot his name. Let me remind me. See, I didn't guide for a long time. In Aramaic, in Hebrew, in English, it's the son of the father. In Aramaic, Barabbas. Remember, there were two people that Pontius Pilate could release. He could release one, and the Jews asked to release Barabbas. Oh, another thing that I wanted to look at the ceiling. You will see a beautiful example of the horn of thorn with in it the blood tears, outside the blood tears, and the gold, the divine nature of Jesus in the middle. Washing his hands. Jesus. Barabbas. Look at the ground. And I wanted to shout, yes, we do have a tourist here, Catholic tourists who's walking now through the Via Dolorosa. They are tourists from Nazareth, Israel. Let's go to the other church now. Listen to their Arabic chanting. We are at the Muslim quarter. From here, you can see El Amoria, the Antonia, Praetorium, the judgment place. Beautiful museums of the Franciscans you can actually visit, but of course it's closed. No one is here except of you. Before I'm entering in, did you subscribe to my channel? If not, please do that, mainly because you're the only tourist. I'm jobless. I have no work at all, and I will be more than happy if you will be part of my family. Then don't forget to subscribe my channel and be part of my family. Let's read it again. Something else from the Gospel of John 19:13 and 16:17. When Pilate heard these words, he brought Jesus out and seated him on the judge bench in the place called Stone Pavement, in Hebrew, Gabata, which is actually in Aramaic, but it sounds like a very high place. Then he handed him over to them to be crucified. So they took Jesus, and carrying the cross himself, he went out to what it's called the place of the skull. In Hebrew, Golgotha, again it's Aramaic. In Hebrew it will be Golgolet. This is from the Gospel of John. And you know that I will read it for you in Hebrew. In Hebrew it's from the right to the left. Ka'asher shama Pilatos, that's his name, Pilate. But Pilatos, if you will call him Pilate, he won't answer. But if you will say Pilatos, he won't answer, and he might kill you too. כאשר שמע פילטוס את המילים האלה, הוציא את ישוע, Jesus, Yeshua, salvation, וישב על כס המשפט במקום מרוצף אבנים הנקרא גבעתה. אז מסר אותו להם לצליבה, for crucifixion, והוא נושא את צלבו יצא אל המקום הנקרא גולגותה, כלומר מקום הגולגולת. גולגותה ארמית, גולגולת in Hebrew, הבשורה על פי יוחנן. Gospel of John, and the rest you know. Oh no, that's 19, and the rest you know. Then let's enter to here, and as you can see we are alone. It's a little bit sad for me because I was supposed to work every day in Easter time. Let's start with a horrible thing that happened here. Few months before the war, a horrible fanatic American Jew came to you and broke the statue of Jesus. And I'm so happy that they actually brought it back like that and didn't repair it, because I want people to understand. To be fanatic and not to accept the other's religion is wrong. The same thing I can find in Jewish places all over the world. People are spitting, people are trying to destroy Jewish places, Muslim places, Christian places. Stop doing it. Stop doing it, please. It's a beautiful, empty place, which is a little bit sad for me, but I can talk here. The main altar, you can see Jesus going out from the Antonia, from the judgment place, the Praetorium, and you can see even some Pilate washing his hands, Jesus with a red robe like a king. You can see what it's on his head, and the most touching thing is that this is a sin that I can understand, because Mary was the mother of her only child, Jesus. She knew that it's going to happen, and still it's so difficult for her. Then you can see here John, which is the one to the left, and Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene is the only woman that you can see the hair of her and a little bit the shoulder. And Mary, the mother, is there, and they are trying to hide that sin from him. Another important thing here is that this is a floor that until recently we thought that it's from the time of Jesus, but now we know that it's from the 2nd century, from Adrian time. But it shows you something that soldiers used to do while they were waiting for the judgment. I mean, the guy that being judged now, because it takes a lot of time. They are playing. And I'm touching it for you. You can see Roman plaques. That it shows you that even in the 2nd century, that place next to us was the judgment place, the Antonia. This is really important thing to understand. Then the floor is not from Jesus' time, but the floor is quite old. Let's go outside, and let's continue with the Via Dolorosa. Let's start with that the Via Dolorosa was different, in history. That Via Dolorosa that we are walking now started at the 14th century, and at the 16th century it became to be, everyone are doing it. There were few changes, but it was almost the same. For so many years, the Christians couldn't pray outside. The Muslims didn't allow them to do that. Then what they used to put here is a column from 1st century, and the Christians, when they actually walked through the city, knew that, that column tells us that it's part of the Via Dolorosa. Then try to look for columns like that almost in every place. Sadly, because there are no tourists, most of the places are closed. Then I won't be able to go in, but I can show you This is a real group. It looks like it. Then here you can see one of the columns. Oh, local Arabs. This. Then we are now walking at the Via Dolorosa. Besides those two places, I think everything is closed. It's closed because there are no tourists. And the local Christians, they don't need anything. They can buy it in Nazareth as well.
Welcome.
But you can still that he's still smiling.
Cool.
Although no one entered to his shop for the last 5 months.
Oh, I had one.
He had one. All right, he had one. I'm entering just to touch the Antonia rock.
Yes.
All right. In his shop, which is beautiful as you can see, there is a special place that I like to touch, and this is part of the Antonia bedrock. All right, let me not destroy. Here it is. Because I like to destroy things. No, I don't like to destroy things, but it's happening. That mosaic floor, let me ask you, because I've been here like a million times, I never saw the mosaic floor, then let me ask him about it. I don't know how old it is. It looks old, isn't it? How old is the mosaic floor? There's a mosaic floor next to the...
It's Byzantine.
Long time?
Yeah, long
All right, long time, it's enough.
Yeah,
Okay, bye, see you.
Bye.
Just wanted to see, it's called the Palace. And let's continue with it. Another beautiful place that you can actually visit is the Sister of Notre Dame de Sion. But as you can understand, the place is closed. But look how beautiful is the streets of Jerusalem. Then the good thing is that it's quiet, there are not a lot of tourists, and you will be able to see everything. The bad thing is that everything's closed. Ecce Homo Arch, according to so many, this is the place that Pontius Pilate washed his hands. Let me show it to you. And then I will tell you, can I tell you everything over? I have to be careful. All right, let me go a little bit backward. It's part of Notre Dame de Sion, which is a beautiful place and a beautiful guest house, I must say. What we actually discovered that part or that place is part of an arch, a triumph arch that was built for Adrian, 2nd century. And if we are talking about the Muslims, tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, Ramadan begins. But what you see here is another thing that every Muslim must do, at least this one is at least once in his life, and that is the Hajj. Someone here went to Saudi Arabia, to Mecca, and did the Hajj. This is one thing that you must do once a year, and when you are arriving to your house, you can see that people are decorating it, and you got it. You're getting a title, Sir Hajj. Then I believe that man went to Mecca and now is Hajj, like Sir. Because I'm not working, and you are the only one who actually can watch it, then I will ask you a few things to do. First thing, to send that video or the link to my YouTube to all of your friends. Tell them to subscribe to my channel to be part of it. That is the prison of Christ, according to the Greek Orthodox. Then in that case, what's happening here? This is Greek Orthodox, and the other one there is the Catholic. Then what is the truth? What I believe that that place was one compound. Then in that case, it was the Praetorium. They started here and there. What is beautiful to see in the prison of Christ are two prisons, one for Jesus, one for Barabbas, and I do have so many videos about it. And if you write prison of Christ, you will find it on my YouTube channel. I have more than 20,000 videos. Then feel free to watch them. Feel free to ask me questions, and feel free to make me happy. Via Dolorosa, the way of the misery. Another name for it, it's Via Crucis, the way of the cross. Then in that case, it's the same idea. Another compound that I want you to know is that this is the Austrian hospice. The Austrian hospice belongs to the Austrian, yes, of course, but it's a beautiful hotel. Excellent food. And from the roof, you can see the flag there. There's a lovely view of the city. And you guessed correctly. If you write Austrian hospice in my YouTube channel, you will find it too. Although it's a Muslim quarter, you can see that there are a lot of Christian things here. From tomorrow, it's Ramadan time. Tomorrow or the day after, only tonight they will know. But if they're fasting tomorrow morning, then it actually starts tonight. Tonight they will celebrate, and then fasting, no eating, and no drinking from morning until sunset. This is there are few restaurants that I love to eat. This is Basti, but as you can see, it's closed. Armenian Catholic Patriarch. We usually know the Armenian Orthodox, but there is a small minority of Catholic in Armenia, and they own two of hello. הלו! מה שלומכם? אותו כבר ראיתי, רמדאן קרים לכם. רמדאן קרים נשמות, שיהיה לכם רק טוב. And the two of the 14 stations here. Armenian Catholic Patriarch, station number 3. This is where Jesus fell for the first time, and I will talk about it soon. But next to it, it's where Mary the mother, met Jesus. And I will talk about it while I will stand in the next to in the shade. But I want you to understand that there are a few things that you must know. First of all, they mark every station with that kind of floor, or most of the stations. Look at the relief here that describe what's happening here. Here it's meeting, Jesus is meeting his mother. And here, for example, it's Jesus is falling for the first time. The child is noisy and happy. Another important thing is the run play with a number of the stations. Here and there. And let me stand in the shade, and while I will talk, you will see the people are walking here. And I hope that the child won't disturb us, but this is part of the beauty. The Austrian hospice, this is the entrance to it. In the Via Dolorosa, there are 14 stations. Not all of them were mentioned in the Bible. If you will open the book and you will ask yourself, where can you see that he fell? And soon you will see that he fell 3 times. And where he met his mother, it's not there. But we know that Jesus had a lot of sorrow. He didn't eat, he didn't drink. He had to carry his cross. He knew that he's going to die. He's going to be crucified, which is not fun. Then he suffered. Jewish mother, Mary, knew from almost day one that Jesus will die in front of her eyes. She didn't want it, but she knew that it might happen. Then I'm almost sure that she was next to him at the judgment place. The Bible didn't mention it, mainly because, it's almost obvious. We know that she was at the crucifixion. But as a Jewish mother, or as any mother, you will be next to your child in his last hours. Then in that case, third, he fell for the first time. And here, he met his mother. Let's continue through the Muslim Arabic market. And as you can see, there are no tourists. רמדאן כרים נשמה, בסדר, מנסה לחיות. ביי. Everything is open here because it's not for tourists, or mostly not for tourists. But we are turning now right, and you will see that there will be less people. Oh, I forgot to show you the column. There was a column there as well. I'm sure that if you will look back, you will see, I think it's on the floor. We reached the 5th station of the Via Dolorosa. That is where Saint Simon helped him to carry the cross. Guess what? Saint Simon is part of the Bible. Then, in that matter, the building is totally new. You can see it. But it was built again at the late 18th, beginning of the 19th century, mainly because until then, you couldn't build churches. The Muslim laws told you that if you're a Christian, you have to pay money. You cannot buy churches. You cannot pray in the street. There's so many no things. But from the late Ottoman time, they got a permit to do that. Then they started to build the churches next to the places. And although we cannot see the column here, you can see an important stone from the 1st century. And that's where we believe Jesus was holding while he felt dizzy. Couldn't breathe. And then Saint Simon helped him to carry the cross. I'm touching that stone for everyone who are now watching that video. I know that a lot of you wanted to be here in Israel. Sadly, you cannot. Oh, then in that case, hey, one of the most famous person in the whole city. I will come next week to sit next to you,
Okay.
to listen to you.
Okay.
All right. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Yom Tov. Ramadan Karim Neshama. Then, in that case, he is an I don't know if he's archaeological, but he dug a lot and he is well known, and a lot of people are coming to his house to see the antiques that he's got. Now this is beautiful. She is a Greek Orthodox. This is a Catholic place, but the Greek Orthodox accepted lately the Via Dolorosa station as well. Then the one that mentioned in the Bible, they are praying next to it as well. Then it's a beautiful story. This is in the city, and from outside, from the outside the city, let's say from there, from there, we are very close to Damascus Gate. A Jew came and was forced to help Jesus to carry the cross. This is not less than Simon from Libya of today. Then, in that case, what a Jew from Libya is doing in the city, this is the same question that you can ask about Jesus. What is Jesus doing in the city now? It's Passover, one of the 3 Jewish festivals that everyone must be in the city, because the only place to pray was at the temple in those 3 festivals. And Pentecost and Passover is 2 of the 3. Then in that case, he came from Libya of today for the Passover, and he was forced to help Jesus to carry the cross. Then Simon, let's follow him and Jesus while we are climbing up through the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, through the crucifixion area. She was a tourist, at least she looks like a tourist. We're heading to the 6th station of the cross. This is another station that is not mentioned in the Bible, and that was Saint Veronica saw Jesus walking out, sweating. I must tell you, it's quite hot today, but still not humid. But usually in April, it's the beginning of the heat. Then he was sweating. And she asked herself, should I do something for him? Because I want to do that. But if I'll do that, the Roman soldiers that were surrounded him will crucify me too. Oh, I don't know, put me in jail. But she decided to help Jesus. She took a napkin and cleaned his face. Some people believe that this is the old lady with a blood issue. True or not? I don't know, but it's becoming to be a very important. It's a very important tradition. Then we might just say not. You can see part of the column. Remember, they used to mark the places with columns, and the word Veronica is right here. Let me go backwards to take a picture of the station. That station belongs to the Catholic, of course, but for a different order in the Catholic, it's called the Melkite, which are Greek Catholic, Greek Orthodox that accepted late 18th, beginning of 19th century, they accepted the Pope. Let's climb up. And on the way, you will see a very important place to stop. This time I'm not going to stop because I'm taking a video, but usually I'm actually sitting with that amazing guy, and if you are watching my videos, you know him for sure. It's called El Mufti Cafe. It's between the 6th to the 7th station, and he loves cats. Then he actually feeding so many cats. And this is the man. מה שלומך? רמדאן כרים לכם. שוכרן. Remember, we're still in the Muslim quarter. Most of the people that you will see today are Muslims and Palestinians. And I just talked about the war. The war is between Hamas and Gaza. Not with those people. Most of those people are People are people, beautiful people. It's not Hamas, it's not Gaza. This is a totally different story. As you can see, I feel safe to be here. Marhamcha. No, thank you, thank you.
Huh?
We will enter soon to the main street, but I want you to understand that that was the end of Jerusalem at the ancient time, Jesus' time. And this is the judgment gate. From here, it went out of the city because, as you know, and the Bible mentioned it, he'd been crucified outside the city and he was buried outside the city as well, because the Jews cannot be buried inside the city. Then now it's the center of the city. Now it's the Times Square of the city. You can see the main street, which is the most important street of the city of Jerusalem. And in front of you, you can see the 7th station. That's where Jesus fell for the second time. Sadly, it's closed, but if you will enter to it, go backwards, look how crowded it is, you will see another column, remember? And that column is from the Byzantine street. Byzantine, from 4th century. Then that street is not from the time of Jesus. Let's climb up to the 8th station of the cross. Oops. Excellent hummus and excellent falafel. Very good idea. And this is the 8th station of the cross. This is where the women of Jerusalem saw Jesus and they cried. And you say, why are you crying? Don't cry because of me. Cry because of what will happen to you soon. Don't want to disturb him because he's actually guiding. I don't know if they're tourists or not, but he is pointing on another column. Remember? Columns, columns, columns. Then here it is, the 8th station of the cross. And let's leave the 8th station and let's go back to the main street. And we are going soon to climb up the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, mainly because that to your right there's a monastery, Greek Orthodox and Catholic. And we have to go to the church. You have to make a round tour. Not something to roam about. It's not something so long. It's blinking here because I forgot to use the different lane. But I cannot stop, and I don't want to stop the video. Then it will blink for 2-3 more minutes. I'll try to do that as quick as I can. But as you can see, it's the main street. Ramadan is the day. It's a month of fasting, but it became to be a month of a lot of buying, shopping, watching TV. And people, as you see, are buying. I don't know how they do it. There, someone's got money. As you can understand, because I'm not working, I have no money. Then, if you want to support my channel, first remember you can, I'm begging you to subscribe my channel, be part of my family, and please tell me that you did it. Secondly, you are the only option for my income. Then, beneath the video, just next to the like button, you can actually see the super thanks. It's in the shape of a heart. And you can choose to donate whatever your heart tells you. In the description, you will find more information about the Via Dolorosa and 2 more links of Buy Me a Coffee and PayPal. And if you can, do that. But the most important thing is, be part of my family and spread that rumor to your friends. Now, that's the main street from the 4th century. That was the entrance to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Today, the Church of the Holy Tomb is less than half. And you can see that it's kind of a garbage area, but I want you to see the 9 station, and I want you to see other things. It's already 40 minutes. It's unbelievable. Yes, you know that I like to talk a lot, but I don't want to rush. And if it's too long for you, you can stop it now and continue later on, because I'm trying to give you everything that I can. That was the barrier between the Muslim quarter and the Christian quarter. We already entered to the Christian quarter. If you can see the dome there, then you're actually watching the Jewish quarter. The city is not so big. Then we are on the roof of the church. That part beneath us is from 4th century, but we are heading to the remain of the church, which is still big. And now let's talk about the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. If it's for your first time, you might be surprised to know that the church belongs to the Catholic, Orthodox churches, so not only Armenian, Cyrenic, Copts, Ethiopians as well, and it's Sunday. There were a lot of liturgy processions in the church. I took some videos of it. I'm here from 6:30 a.m. It's around 2-3 p.m. now. And בשמש, עד כדי כך קר לך? מה שלומך? בסדר. ראיתי פנים עצובות.
אל תשים אותי בווידאו.
למה? אתה יפה. אוקיי, אז אל תצא עכשיו. Stay in. I don't want to be in the... look at this shop. I love this shop because of a few things. First of all, is selling things in cheap price. And the quality is not bad. But early morning, you saw Yaakov. Remember Yaakov that looks like Jesus? And he is living here. He is staying, this is his bed. It's usually right there under the sky. And we are now at the Egyptian part of the Via Dolorosa. And this is the 9th station. That's where Jesus fell for the 3rd time. But it was moved to here because the 9th station was right there. You can see the column, remember? Column is our story. Ninth station. But we are living now the Egyptians, the Coptic Orthodox Church, and entering to the Ethiopian part. This is part of the roof of the church. The Arab family, a group from Nazareth is here. Look how beautiful it is. At the Crusader time, it used to be the dining room, I think, of the Germans. Crusaders. Oh, we saw the nuns at the beginning of the Via Dolorosa. It's a beautiful place. According, I don't want to disturb the lady, the nuns, the sisters, and they are praying now in Arabic, the Lord's Prayer. Let me stand for that. Ya Maryam, Mary, Mubarak, blessed. It's a beautiful procession and beautiful to hear it in the local language of the let them first go and then we will continue to talk about that place. But listen to them. That's the end.
المرحلة الثالثة عشرة يسوع ينزل على الصليب ويسلم ويروح.
He's not talking about the 10th station, which is down beneath us.
لما رأيت ابنك الحبيب على الصليب وخاصة لما وضعوه ميتا في حضنك يا مريم لا تغضبي علينا نحن الذين سببنا بخطايانا موت ابنك وآلامك ولكن بحق حبك ليسوع انظري إلينا بعطف وحنان وناولينا ابنك يسوع الميت من أجلنا لنضمه إلى قلبنا فنتقدس به نفسنا ونطهر جسدنا فنستحق أن نموت في حبه آمين.
أبانا الذي في
السماوات ليتقدس اسمك ليأتي ملكوتك لتكن مشيئتك كما في السماء كذلك على الأرض أعطنا خبزنا كفاف يومنا واغفر لنا خطايانا كما نحن نغفر لمن أخطأ إلينا ولا تدخلنا في التجارب لكن نجينا من الشرير آمين. السلام عليك يا مريم يا ممتلئة نعمة الرب معك مباركة أنت في النساء ومباركة ثمرة بطنك يسوع يا قديسة مريم يا والدة الله صلي لأجلنا نحن الخطأ الآن وفي ساعة موتنا آمين.
Amen. It's so beautiful to listen to that in Arabic. I know that you know everything, but all right. The Coptic, I will go to Coptic believe that, the Ethiopians believe that they are a creation of a meeting between Queen Sheba and King Solomon. You can see here a village of the Ethiopian monks. And let's continue through two of their churches. And then you will see that I will stand next to the most well-known facade of the most important holy site of for so many Christians, Church of the Holy Sepulchre. And now let's go to the lower church of the Ethiopians. Why they are not renovating here? Because they still argue who owns the place. The Coptic believe it's theirs. The Ethiopian believes that it's theirs. It's so beautiful to see the monk is now studying Hebrew. So beautiful. Oh, I didn't see them early morning today. לא ראיתי אותך בבוקר. רמדאן כרים, נשמה שלי. איפה היית בבוקר? רמדאן כרים, נשמה. תודה, גם אתה. Guys, this is a real group. At least, yeah, it's a real group. Then the tourists are starting to come and can see more, but it might be. Then, no, it's in English, but they are from Israel. It looks like they might be. They are studying to be a tour guide. But I heard that there are a few groups that decided to come to here. In April, I'm supposed to guide a family for 4 days. But the word supposed is the most important thing. Then what's happening here? They are renovating the floor of the church. Then in that case, you can see that if you see a wooden floor, it means that they already did it. There are a few tombs beneath the church, including that. This is one of Philip, which was a British knight that helped to write the Magna Carta. The Crusader kings were buried there too. Then it might be that they are excavating there to find what's happened to them, because it's been destroyed by the Greek Orthodox when they renovated the church after it was burned down. Another Station of the Cross is here, that chapel. That is where they took his clothes and remembered the lot. They tried to understand who will get the clothes of Jesus. Then that is the chapel. It's mostly closed because, as you can see, it's not so easy to walk here. And the column, remember the columns? Then let's climb up to the Golgotha. And one thing that you won't see is the anointing table. That's where they anointed the body of Jesus after he died, but sadly they are renovating it. I did a video of it, and they actually took it out because they are excavating beneath it, and they will bring it back, of course, don't worry, they will bring it back. Then you can see that it's difficult to see what's happening there. Oops. But let's climb up to the Golgotha. It was empty early morning, and now it's empty as well, but there are a few people here. The Golgotha is divided into two. That part belongs to the Catholic, the other part belongs to the Greek Orthodox. In that chapel, you can see nailing to the cross, and soon I will be closer, and a statue of Mary that we got from Portugal. That represents the Pietà, the sufferer of the mother. And after he was crucified, she actually held him in her arm. And guys, it's so difficult. It's so difficult. I do have only one child. I'm so afraid that something will happen to her. We are in Israel. Everything can happen. Then, in that case, this is where, let's start with it. Remember, this is the chapel of the lot. That's where they choose who will take the clothes of Jesus. It used to be a door and an entrance to the church, but Salahadin closed it. From that moment, no one used it as a door. Right there is when they nail him to the cross. You can see the mother You can see Mary Magdalene and the Roman soldier. Guys, he did it for us. Let's respect it. You can see that it was outside the city, and the women and John the disciple are looking at the Golgotha. Where are the rest of the men? Where are the rest of the disciples? Not there. Let's stand in the line here. Two people. Because I want to be as close as I can to the crucifixion place. But you know that he was crucified with another two. The sun is represent Jesus, and the man is praying next to the crucifixion place. The monk there is very strict with me, then I won't be able to talk when I'll be there. There's a hole, and if I'll put my hand in the hole, I will reach the bedrock of the Golgotha that, as you can see, covered with the glass. To the right you can see John, to the left you can see Mary. On top of Jesus you can see his list. Jesus from Nazareth, King of the Jews. Alright, I was in front of her, but not in a rush. Here you can see the Pietà. You can see the spear in her heart. When she was at the temple, the presentation, Saint Simon told her that a son will die in front of her eyes. It will be like a spear entering into your heart. The bedrock is covered with a glass because of people like me that wants to take some souvenirs. Let's go in. I'm touching it now for you, my dears. Later on, I'm going to light candles for people who ask me to do that. When you are donating, supporting me, if you want me to light a candle for you, yes, you can. Usually I'm going out of here, but because it's closed there, and you cannot see the anointing table, and there are no tourists, I will try to go out from here. And then you can see something there. Every time that I'm taking a video of the excavation there, they are trying, when they watch that video, they are trying to hide it. Then now it's almost impossible. It's not almost, it's impossible. But you can understand why they want to replace it, and while they are doing it, they're excavating. I think it's wise. Now guys, this is the tomb himself. Usually it's empty, but the Nazareth group is here. And for just like a glimpse, it looks like there are tourists here in Israel. The tomb. The tomb is, the structure, the articula is new. The tomb is old, from the time of Jesus. In it, you can see two chapels. Now we cannot see a thing. The first chapel is where the angels took care that no one will steal the body of Jesus, but he resurrected. The inner part is the tomb. Sadly, I cannot go in with the video into the tomb. Then later on, as you can understand, it will take me 5 minutes to enter for you. Usually there's a line, it goes all the way, it can reach to, let's say, 2-3 hours. Now it's almost nothing. Although we just finished the 14 stations, I want you to see the 15th station, which is only mine. There's no 15th station at the Via Dolorosa, but that is Sunday, and we are on Sunday. And that's where Mary Magdalene met Jesus. Remember, on Sunday she came to anoint him because what I forgot to mention, that as a Jew they anointed the body of Jesus, but they did it quick because they had to bury him before sunset. Then on Sunday they came to complete that mission, but he wasn't there, and she started to look for him. And when she stood here, she saw Jesus standing there, and she said, but she didn't realize that it's Jesus. Then she asks him, she thought that he was a gardener. "Did you see my Lord?" she said. "Did you see my Lord?" she said. And the answer was, "I am your Lord, but didn't reach my kingdom yet, and you cannot touch me. Go and spread a rumor. Tell the disciples that I resurrected." Then this is the chapel. I took it early morning, that was the ceremony was here at 8:30 of the Lent, 4th Lent, 4th week of the Lent. Then the structure is new, but the location is there. Before we are saying goodbye, I know that it's more than 1 hour now, but I want to show you how a tomb from the time of Jesus looks like. I will do the quick. I think it's important. Now let's enter to a rock-cut cave from the time of Jesus. And let me switch to one. Then I can use the flashlight. And you can see here the niches to bury the dead there. That tells us that that area used to be a cemetery area that was outside the city. I know that there is another option, and I promise to visit it soon because I think they already opened it for Easter, and this is the garden tomb. I will be there, I don't know, let's say a week from now, before Easter, and I will upload a video before Easter to you too. What's the real one? Who's the real one? It's between you. I'm not going to argue. It's, as the guider told me, it's not important. Tell them to pray here and to pray there. And that's what I'm telling you. Pray here and pray there. Then if that is a real tomb from Jesus' time, and we know that this is the garden of Joseph of Arimathea, who gave Jesus his own tomb, and you already saw the tomb, then he built himself another tomb next to his master. This is the tomb of Joseph of Arimathea, and this is the tomb of Jesus. Thank you very much for being with me in that 1 hour. But I think now you actually could feel, could understand, or could be with me. You've been with me at the Via Dolorosa, very close to Easter time. Thank you very much. Bye bye.